Pacing. The elusive beast that many writers make an enemy of and seek to master in their stories. While it is simply the speed of the action and how the story unfolds, it is the secret tool of all filmmakers, screenwriters, authors, and game writers around the world. This simple, difficult to accomplish aspect of your storytelling is one of the most important to get right, being up there with empathetic, engaging characters and avoiding and/or twisting cliches and tropes. Pacing helps to keep your audience interested and is the core of the tone and atmosphere that you want in any specific scene. But how do we get this right? One of the most tried and true ways of getting your pacing right is by outlining. However, there are many of us, quite a lot of writers, Stephen King included, that hate to plan each and every part of their story. Whether you decide to outline or go by the seat of your pants, you can try to think of your story in units. Whether this is the 3-act or 4-act structure, or borrow from Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey. The first thing is to think about the purpose of each scene. How is the scene moving the story forward? How is the protagonist working towards his primary and secondary goals? The same with the antagonist. After you've got these down, think about how you want the audience to experience it. As an example, will the resolution of a scene end in a character's death? If so, slow down the beginning, use longer sentences, have the camera work linger on the characters' faces during these scenes. Then speed up the action, shorter sentences, quick camera movements. It might sound ridiculous, but it is really this simple, this hard too. To give you a literary example, the weary-looking treehouse creaked and swayed in the wind as we ascended the dark brown oaken steps, being mindful of the whistling sound in the distance. And compare this to something a lot shorter, a lot more concise. The treehouse looked weary, creaking, swaying in the wind. We ascended the steps. The distant whistling continued. It's a very simple change. The second keeps the story moving along, touching on the key points, avoiding the trap of being overly descriptive, trusting the audience to fill in the blanks. And that's not to say that being descriptive is bad, but there is a time and a place for it. It's all about control. Being in control of how you command the ebb and flow of your story is what pacing is. Furthermore, you can further control this by choosing when and where to have a focus shift between the primary plot and the subplots that you have in your story. This would allow you to take a breather from the plot and allow characters to show their thoughts, their perspectives on their journey, and also give context and build the world of your narrative too. It's all about choosing when to have your audience racing along on the ride, then having these moments which help build up to the next burst of activity. So, let's set a challenge to everyone who's listening to this or watching this video. I want you to write a paragraph or longer and post it below, then stew on it for a bit or not, and edit it to make the sentences shorter, snappier, and cut out that overly descriptive fat. See how that affects the pacing of your story. See how it affects the narrative. How exciting or interesting it becomes to you when you read it back to yourself, or somebody else reads it too. And let me know what you think of this below too. So please like this video if it was helpful to you, and share it if you think anyone you know could benefit from this. And lastly, subscribe so you can get more of this kind of content, and I'm looking forward to your comments and writing below. I'll see you in the next one.